first story is titled, Update, Am I the a-hole for not wanting to sign away my rights? Original post, Look, I know it's my choice and I have a right to say no, but right now it feels like the rest of the world doesn't agree. Honestly, I, 26 male, didn't know this woman that well when we first met through a dating site. She was 35, and according to her profile, was single, never told me she was married. We went out on a few dates for 4 months until she told me she wasn't interested anymore. I later found out it was because her husband was getting suspicious, and she needed to cut her losses. But a few months after, she contacted me again and told me she was pregnant. It hadn't been that long since we slept together and she confessed everything. Her husband still didn't know yet, because she wanted to find out who the father was first. We did the prenatal paternity test and confirmed her baby is also mine. She had to tell him after that, and it was a crap show. He wanted to speak to me and called me like crazy. She got him to leave me alone after telling him I never knew about her being married. We were both lied to by her. They're apparently trying to work things out, but here's the thing. Her husband wants me completely out of the picture, and is willing to adopt my baby if I terminate my parental rights. He doesn't want me in their lives at all and this is his only condition, or he's divorcing her and taking their 2 kids. Don't know if he can actually do that, but she's begging me to do this or it'll completely break their family. Neither of them are considering that this is my child too and I want to be in my child's life. I said, I would not and it's causing all these problems. She's called several times telling me how badly this is hurting her family, and her kids are hurt and confused because her husband is temporarily moved out until this condition is met. She feels guilty for doing this to them, but says she wants to fix her mistakes and make their marriage work if I could just do this. Plus to her, it's a sweet deal for me since I won't ever have to raise this baby or be responsible financially. I don't see it that way. I want to be a dad to my son. But it feels like what I want is hurting everyone else, like her kids. My close friends who know all this, get I want to do right by my kid, but feel I should walk away from this messy situation as it will always be a part of my life if I choose to be involved, and it's possible if her husband is willing to adopt my son after birth, he'll have a good life. Nobody else in my life thinks me being in my son's life is a good idea, and I don't know if it really is such a bad thing. She's due in 2 months and I don't know what to do. Am I the a-hole? Now for the top comments before reading the update. Not the a-hole, lawyer up, and I'd also suggest maybe asking r/relationships. You have a right to be a part of your child's life, and legal advice will help you go through your options. She lied to you, and in doing so set herself up for a stuffed marriage. She can't use that as an excuse to ostracize you out of your child's life. Maybe also r/legal. She's the one that broke up her family, not you. She needs to deal with her actions. And in all honesty, the husband may never forgive her and take his resentment out on the baby. Start documentation of texts and voicemails, and never answer calls or texts. A lawyer could potentially show them harassing you and possible the start of parental alienation. She called me several times telling me how badly this is hurting her family. Excuse me, but she did this to herself. Not the a-hole. Especially considering all she had to do not to have this blow up in her face was keep quiet. Wife to OP, I want to break up, this isn't working out. Wife to husband, honey, we're pregnant. And that's it. By seeking a paternity test, she literally doubled down on forging this situation, which she created by cheating in the first place. Not the a-hole, because as bad as all this is, you are only responsible for that child. You didn't lie, you weren't cheating and you have rights. How will you feel if that marriage breaks up anyway, and the husband resents your son and you can do nothing to help? You're not responsible for her marriage or her family, she is. You're responsible for your child, and only you can discern what's right in that regard. Not the a-hole. And now for the update. It's been a while since I posted this and a lot has happened since then. And by a lot, I mean I finally became a dad. My son is healthy and beautiful, most beautiful baby I've ever seen. One of the best things to ever happen to me honestly, despite the drama. Thank you everyone who was helpful and encouraging in this situation. It felt good to know even with what everyone else was saying, I had a right to say no to my ex's demands and I'm not the one at fault for what happened. Several of you had suggested I talk to her about switching it around, so that I could ask about getting full custody instead of being cut out if her husband had such a problem with me being around. Was a great idea and I feel pretty stupid for not thinking about it myself. So here's what happened, I decided to try again and contact her husband, because throughout this whole time, he was refusing to speak to me. But I just wanted to see if I could get through to him as a last resort. He agreed for us to talk, and I was shocked to find out he'd actually changed his mind about accepting the baby 2 months ago, before I made the post. Originally, he did have that condition that he'd only take her back and adopt my son if I wasn't in the picture, but decided he didn't want to raise another man's baby. So, she lied to me about him still having this condition, and this was just her attempt to try to fix everything. Even though he was planning on going through with the divorce, he was pretty mad about what she was doing too, so he was kind of on my side about it. Did get a lawyer involved, and had another talk with her as well after he spoke to her, pretty much saying he'd never take her back no matter what she did at this point. That got her to see trying to keep me out wasn't going to do anything. I brought up the full custody thing to see if that was something she wanted, and she agreed. To her there was no point in having my son full-time with this whole divorce going on, and she doesn't even have her own place. He moved back into their house with the kids and she ended up leaving. Going through with my attorney, I was able to establish paternity after my son was born, so that I'd be legally recognized as his father, instead of her soon-to-be ex. As of right now, he's with me full-time, but she still comes by to visit. Her life is a total mess right now with the divorce, and she's still pretty bitter towards me about it. It's not perfect, but I'm just so happy having my son in my life. Holding him for the first time, it made all the struggles worth it. It's definitely overwhelming doing it mostly on my own, but I don't regret how things played out. So thanks for the support and advice. It really helped make a difference when I couldn't see a way out of this without feeling like I was doing something wrong. Now for some top comments. Well done and congrats. I definitely wouldn't want my child being raised by that woman. She's bitter at you, even though it's entirely her fault. Is she paying you alimonies? She is paying child support, yes. I've learned to not take any blame that isn't mine to carry, so that makes it easier when she tries to act like everything happening right now is my fault. You sound like you're going to be an amazing dad. Sorry, mate, that you are an amazing dad. Your little boy is lucky to have you permanently in his life and is going to thrive with you. Good luck for the future. Parenting is a wonderful privilege and is tough at times, but worth every tear and every sleepless night. Congrats, Dad. Enjoy. Raising a child is one of life's joys. Sending you best wishes from another dad who isn't with the mother. Thanks. Hasn't been easy. My little man makes it worth it though. He's brought so much into my life. Well done. This girl is crazy, being bitter at you, when she's the one who cheated on her husband. Laughing my butt off, the absolute nerve of her. Now for the next story. Am I the a-hole for yelling at my cousin's wife for telling me that my daughter isn't my husband's just because she's white? I've been dealing with a lot of criticism since my daughter was born, just because of her skin color. She's white, blonde, and has the greenest eyes I've ever seen, like my grandma's. I'm 24 female, white myself, but my hair and my eyes are dark, and my husband, 31 male, is black. The point is that everyone in my family knows that she is my husband's and that we have 2 DNA tests that prove it, but my cousin's wife, 22 female, thinks that we're lying, and that she's the daughter of another man. I say this because the other day was my daughter's first birthday, and she came to our house to bring her a gift, and while we were talking, she asked me if her dad sent her a gift and if he was coming to celebrate with us. I asked her what she was talking about, and she said she was talking about her real dad. I didn't like that she said that, so I told her that it was very rude to say those things, and that it's none of her business to know who the dad of my daughter is. But she only said that I don't have to be ashamed if her real dad is not my husband, that we are family, and that I could trust her. Of course I got mad and yelled at her to get out of my house, and told her that she's not my family, and that I don't want to see her anymore. She apologized, but I didn't care. I told her to get out, so she left. And I know she told my cousin everything because later he called me and told me that she still doesn't understand why my daughter is so white if her dad is black, and that she thought that we were all hiding the truth from her because she is new in the family. That she just wanted to get along with me, and that she was really sorry, that I should understand her since we all come from an almost white country, and many people here are ignorant about genetics. I understand, but I reacted like that because it hurt me that someone close to me thinks that way about me. And it made me wonder if someone else in my family also thinks that my daughter is not my husband's. Maybe I overreacted, but honestly, am I tired of all this? Am I the a-hole? Now for the top comments. Not the a-hole. When we mix different races, the outcome isn't just some blend of beige but an array of skin and eye colors. Siblings from interracial parents can range from darker than the dark parent, to lighter than the light parent. That's just how the genetic lottery works. Your friend needs an education in how genes work. Honestly, I also come from a homogeneous, pretty predominantly white country. I don't know any mixed couples, and while I understand basic genetics, I still wouldn't claim to state an opinion on what is and isn't possible when mixing races. What I do know is that, no matter what your suspicions are, it's so incredibly, unnecessarily rude to pull the BS that this woman did. What the hell? It's okay. Tell me you cheated. Tell me. I know. You must have cheated. What the hell? Ignorance is one thing, but that sort of a-hole behavior goes beyond it. Not the a-hole. Here's the thing. Even if your daughter wasn't biologically your husband's, and I know she is, just saying this to prove a point, he is her father, period. And that's all anyone outside of the three of you would ever need to know. Ignorance about something isn't an excuse to act like an a-hole about it. He called me and told me that she still doesn't understand why my daughter is so white if her dad is black. Oh my god, Karen, you can't just ask someone why they're white. Not the a-hole. I don't even get how he thought that was a justification. He should have been apologizing for his wife's terrible behavior. Now for the last story. Would I be the a-hole if I told my ex that she has 2 more weeks to repay her debt to me before I will be contacting her parents / taking her to small claims court? Me, 25 male, and my ex-girlfriend, 24 female, of almost 3 years moved abroad to do our MSCs in the end of 2019 August. I got a job immediately, and she didn't. Here, students can get a pretty big monthly grant from the state if you have a job, about 16 hours a week, alongside your studies, so it is pretty crucial to find a job. After 2 months here, she started cheating on me in 2019 November. I stupidly forgave the first one and we reconciled. Around February 2020 she asked me to pay / loan her half of the expenses too, rent, groceries, etc., since she was running out of her reserves from home. I agreed. In April, I found out that since January, she slept with 2 more guys, after she bragged about this to her friend. I broke up with her, got tested for STDs later. When asked about the money, she told me she'll repay me ASAP. She owed me about $1,300. For the next 4 to 5 months, she kept harassing me with love messages on multiple platforms, calls / texts / Instagram / email etc. I completely ghosted her. She did some pretty nice things, showing up to my door at 4 a.m. knocking for a solid 30 minutes, tried to keep other girls away from me in various ways, etc. In August, I reached out to her. Hey! It's been 4 months, when are you planning to start repaying the money you owe? She accused me of being extremely demanding of the money, and she can barely afford to eat. I told her that maybe she should focus on repaying me instead of buying non-essential things like musical instruments, to which she replied, "Music is essential to me." Right. For the record, during this time she got a new bed, several music instruments, an iPhone, apparently needed one for work, she was still unemployed during this time, a new laptop and a 32-inch TV. Know this from friends, social media, from our dorm group, pictures she sent me, and common classes, etc. In October she reaches out, after I had a big accident, and told me she got a job and will be repaying me in 3 installments, $550, $400 and $350. When the day comes, she sends me only $400, apparently her taxes got messed up. It's valid, happened to me as well, but reassured me that the payments will be coming continuously. It was heavily implied that they would come monthly. Since then, haven't heard a word, haven't received a penny. We both moved to new dorms where the deposit is $2,400 alone. As far as I know, she doesn't have a job about a month ago. I could technically survive without the $900 still owed to me, but I'm a uni student, that's a lot of money for me. I dumped her about 9.5 months ago. Would I be the a-hole if I told her that she has 2 weeks to repay the remaining around, then I'd be texting her dad to try to settle her debt with him? Her family is quite wealthy, they probably supported her since last April. If that fails, I'm planning to take her to small claims court. Thankfully we logged everything we owe each other in an app that tracks expenses for years, so I have a very good chance, according to Legal Aid. Now for the top comments. Don't even give her a warning, go do it. And if she keeps on harassing you by showing up at 4 a.m. and keeping other girls away, call the police. Like that you'll show her that she doesn't get to play with you, because you'll cut that quickly and with serious repercussions. Seriously, this dude is still letting her play him like a fiddle. Grow a pair and just do it. What have you got to lose? Not the a-hole, get that money. I had a similar situation and it took me years to get the money I was owed from my ex. Not the a-hole if you did. You've given her chance after chance and you've got logs of her agreeing to pay the money. I would say give her a little more than 2 weeks, as if she or her parents are on monthly salary, then it will be a bit easier for them to sort out their finances. That's a courtesy, but it could be a great thing to prove, if it did go to small claims, that you made great concessions to give her opportunities. Sorry to hear she cheated on you, man. I've been there, it's brutal. Sooner you can be rid of her, the better. Would be the a-hole if you go to her parents, they don't owe you anything. Would not be the a-hole if you take her to small claims court, but is the aggravation worth it? I'm guessing their goal is to have the parents pressure the girlfriend somewhat so they don't have to resort to the legal system. The parents wouldn't be paying directly. If they've been supporting her financially, they could take OP's money from her financial support and give it to him, for example. And that's it for this video, guys. If you have thoughts to share, leave a comment below. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you like this content. I'll catch you in the next one. Good day, everyone.